Welcome to another round of Prem and Proper here at SDH. Match week 3 in the books. And what we will do is we will go back and take a peek at match week 3 and catch you up with some of the coaches and some of the players from a very, very intriguing week in the Premier League. We'll get you ready for the week that will be in match week number 4. And we'll also have our final early season Prem and Proper with Contributor Nyle. So it will be Golden Nyles and Rotten Nyles coming up at the end of the show as Nyle Faruqi gives you his thoughts on what happened in match week number 3. So let's go backward before we go forward and run through the week that was. It was in the last 7 days. You had Saturday, you had Sunday, you had Monday. Saturday, very busy. 6 of the 10 matches were there. Tottenham gets a win at home against Wolves by the final of 1-0. Southampton, one of the surprises of the weekend against an injured and not full-strength Leicester side. Leicester at King Power was a minus 128. Southampton at a plus 336 gets the win by the score of 2-1. Back and forth crazy game with Fulham and Brentford. Big points for Fulham getting full points at Craven Cottage. 3-2 win there as the juice box purveyors kind of threw a blanket over this one. Each team somewhere in the neighborhood of plus 170 with the draw at plus 239. Brentford down early. They came storming back. 2 goals from Mitrovic. Fulham gets full points at 3-2. Everton and Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest had a lead, lost it in the latter stages of the second half, but it's a point shared. So Forest and Everton, a 1-1 draw at a plus 252. Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. Crystal Palace wins at Selhurst Park by the score of 3-1 at a plus 149. Arsenal, big favorites at the Vitality up against Bournemouth, put the hammer down in the first half, and they won by the score of 3-0 at a minus 222. Sunday, Brighton gets 2 on the board against West Ham as a road dog at a plus 193. They get the win, and it was a 2-0 final there. Now the fun part. Leeds and Chelsea. Leeds all over Chelsea from the beginning, did not cower in fear with Chelsea coming to Ellen Road. Leeds wins it by the score of 3-0. And here's some sound after the match with Jesse Marsch and Brendan Aronson catching up with our friends at NBC Sports Soccer, courtesy of NBC Sports and the Premier League.
And I'm so happy to say that the Leeds United manager, Jesse Marsch, joins us live from the tunnel at Ellen Road. Jesse, thank you so much for joining us. Rebecca Lowe, Tim Howard, Robbie Mustoe here in the NBC studio. First of all, Jesse, congratulations. That must rank pretty high, not only in your Leeds career, but maybe in your entire managerial career, based on who you were playing, Jesse, and how well you executed that game plan.
Yeah, I think that's what is so pleasing is that we were clear on the pitch. We were aggressive. We knew the match plan. We were able to execute it. We looked confident in all phases of the game. And you know, I think it was deserved. And so this game isn't always about deserving points or not. But today I think was a really good performance, our best yet, and certainly a deserved win.
Jesse, Tim Howard here. Well done. What a performance. What a result. Chelsea came to town. What you should have done is sit back and be fearful. You didn't. You stuck to your principles. How did you get that point across to your team throughout the week of training?
No way, man. That's not the way we're ever going to play. But we obviously know that you have to calculate the way that you want to play against these opponents. They have so much quality on the pitch, and they can unbalance you so easily. We had a few different match plans going into the game because they are a little bit flexible and they have a lot of variability with what they do. But it was nice to see in all phases that we were clear, that when we needed to adjust, that we did. We even played a little bit of a hybrid of the against the ball, the way we wanted to play, and the guys were clear and were able to execute. So, you know, we really like our team. I think the energy on the inside of the group has been really positive. They're so hardworking. We never get outrun. We never get outworked. And now the question is, can we also add to it not being outthought? And if we can add all that together, then we think we can really build something special.
By Leeds and US men's national team star Brendan Arrington, who's just putting on his headset. I think he can hear us. Brendan, Rebecca Lowe, Tim Howard, Robbie Mustoe here in the NBC Sports Studios. Thank you so much for joining us. Massive congratulations. Brendan, let me start by asking you a question about your goal, because we just looked at it and Robbie was just analysing the fact that many people are calling that a Mendy mistake. But Brendan, that's the whole point of Leeds United, isn't it? To chase everything down and never give up.
Yeah, exactly what you just said. That's the drive of this team. The message was going on in the game, we're going to press them. We're not going to stay back and fear them. We're going to go after them. And that kind of sums up that goal and sums up this team's performance today.
Brendan, Tim Howard here. Well done. Fantastic performance. We've talked all day long in the studio about the pressing and how you guys go about it. What's the one fundamental principle that Jesse Marsch tries to get across to you guys individually when it comes to pressing?
Yeah, I think, like I just said, I think who wants it more? You know, making this final step is something Jesse always talks about, and something I learned when I first went to Salzburg with him was at the Union, maybe I wasn't taking that last step and winning the ball. And I kind of learned this skill with Salzburg and now coming here again. So I think now the whole squad's learning, and you can see it's paying off.
Brendan, it's Robbie Mustoe here. Now, I know things happen very quickly in football. The move to Leeds United, I'm sure it's super exciting. Try and explain what it feels like to play in this team in Ellen Road with that atmosphere.
It's a dream come true to begin with. You know, I couldn't ask to be at a better club with better fans and a better group of guys. You know, I came in from the start and they were just so welcoming. It felt like such a big family. And yeah, I'm just super grateful for this opportunity. And yeah, I'm ready for more.
And if you thought 3 goals on one side was crazy, how about 3 goals on both sides? Your late game on Saturday, the 11:30 a.m. kick. Newcastle, Manchester City. Manchester City had the early lead. Newcastle came storming back, took a lead. Manchester City came storming back, and the draw at a plus 392 was your final result, a 6-goal thriller with Newcastle and Manchester City. Here's Eddie Howe, courtesy of our friends at Sky, with his thoughts on the match. Pep Guardiola, courtesy of Football Daily.
Yeah, it was an incredible game. Roller coaster of emotions really through the match. We go 1-0 down, and you know that's the worst possible start against this team, because then you have to chase the game and potentially you leave open spaces. But I thought that the players responded brilliantly to that. We scored some great goals today. I was absolutely delighted with the effort, commitment, and everything the players gave. And I'm sure for the neutral it was an incredible game. For us as managers, I think you're torn because we were 3-1 up and you're desperate to win. But we needed something from the game, and I think the players deserve that.
Was it one of those that was tiring even on the sideline?
Yeah, it was tiring, mentally tiring, because you're trying to figure out, from my perspective, trying to help the team when you know the game's swung back in the balance of Manchester City. And it's a very difficult feeling, that, because you're desperate to do something, but you don't want to also do something that harms us as well. So full credit to my players today for how they fought and what they gave the game. And hopefully everyone leaves entertained, and the most important thing is we got something from it.
Very rare that we see Man City give the ball away that much and be given that many problems defensively. How did you do it?
Well, I think we brought our physicality to the match. It's something we'd spoke about all week. We wanted to make them uncomfortable. We wanted to get our crowd in the match. These are things that, against them last year, we felt we didn't do. We wanted to put them under pressure and leave here feeling that they'd been in a game. And I think, not speaking for them, but I think they would have felt that for the match, because certainly we were in their faces, and we committed physically very well.
We started really well. We scored a goal. We had the 2 chances more with Kevin and Phil, and it was under control. And after we lose, because they are so aggressive, some duels, and they contact with some Maximim, and when that's happened, with this aggression and intention to be so direct, you have to defend in the 18-yard box. Generally, we create a lot of chances, clear ones, one against Pope, that make an incredible, like Barley, Brighton game. An excellent performance. So England has an incredible keeper there. Point, congratulations for the game for both sides, and that's all. Keep going.
Which leads us to Monday Night Football. Manchester United and Liverpool. Cristiano Ronaldo, Harry Maguire did not start, and you can still hear the cheers from the Manchester United fans over that one. At Old Trafford, Manchester United gets the win by the score of 2-1 at a plus 365. So let's hear from the particulars First off, Erik ten Hag on the activity of Lisandro Martinez at the back that helped out defensively for Manchester United.
I asked you about Martinez when we did the interview a few days ago. He was out excellent tonight. What do you think about his performance in terms of coming up against a top-quality team, but a team who played slightly different, maybe trying to play through the lines and play in behind? He dealt with it fantastically well.
I saw the same, but I know he can do both. He is, for a defender, his skills, his technical skills are quite good. And his fighting spirit is there, and also his positioning and his battling over the ground, but also in aerial. He's not the tallest, but he has a good timing.
I asked you about Martinez when we did the interview a few days ago. He was out excellent.
Then Jadon Sancho and Marcus Rashford contributing on the field, and they were asked their thoughts after the match, once again, courtesy of our friends at Sky Sports Premier League, their own selves.
We can hear what it means to the crowd. What did that mean to the United players?
Yeah, it means a lot. As you can see, our first 2 games didn't go so well, so we knew today was a big game and we have to turn that around today.
How much do you think you needed that on many levels, Marcus?
Yeah, it's obviously a massive game for the club. I've always said, regardless of the circumstances that you're in, a game against Liverpool is massive, no matter what circumstances you're in. So to get the win today is massive, and like Jadon said, we've not done so well starting the season, so it's good to pick up the first 3 points.
It was a million miles from the first 2 performances of the season. What was the difference tonight?
To be honest, I think just energy. We started the game at a higher tempo, and we was tired towards the end, but we kept going and we just stuck at it. They got a goal back and we didn't fold. We kept defending well. And it was an enjoyable game to play in.
Jadon, going into the game tonight, how much were the players burning after what happened last week? How much of that superb performance was based on a poor performance last week?
Yeah, obviously last week hurt a lot, so we knew we had to bounce back. And tonight we showed the fans what we can do, and we just have to carry on this momentum. And hopefully next week we get another win.
Then the loss by Liverpool 2-1. They were a minus 143 heading to Old Trafford. And Sky once again caught up with Jurgen Klopp after the match to get his thoughts and early concerns on the season.
Jurgen, obviously not what you were looking for. What's your thoughts on the game and how it unfolded?
Yeah, how it unfolded. So they were really aggressive in the beginning. It was clear. It was absolutely clear what will happen. But then reality shows when you are ready, or if you are really ready. And I think in the beginning they were more aggressive than us in these kind of challenges. They got then, I think they hit the post so we were like passing around, stuff like this. It was a hectic game, obviously. And then they had the first chance, then they scored a goal. And then we took over, if you want. Then we played the game we wanted to play, more or less. Unlucky with situations, especially around set pieces, I think. I don't know how the one ball didn't go in. In a game like this, against an opponent like United, that would be obviously very helpful if you could score in this moment, going 1-1 in half time or whatever. We showed the boys 2 situations where we did really well and where we just didn't arrive in the right moment in the box, stuff like this, where we were really passing around in the half spaces where they couldn't grab Bobby, where they couldn't, if we used him in that moment, we had the next midfielder free. So football stuff. And you can see the second one, that doesn't help. And then we score ours, and then it's a hectic game with a lot of interruptions, stuff like this. So, definitely not the result we wanted.
You said they were aggressive to begin with. Were they sharper than you at the opening start of the game?
Maybe they were. That's of course not right. But Howe said, when it calmed down, we were immediately there. We had extreme number of shots for an away game at United. So how can I say it? We should use then more of these moments. Obviously, if you do that. Again, second half was again I think a fantastic save of De Gea, if I'm right, and unlucky with other situations. So you score in a moment like this, and the game turns. We were there for that, but in the end we had not enough time, or then power, not enough power anymore in the end. That's the reason.
So that sets up your standings as of right now. Once again, Matchweek 3. So you've still got groups and gaggles of folks. But Arsenal, perfect 3 for 3 out of the blocks, 9 points and a +7 in goal difference, taking care of business. 7 points each, Manchester City, Spurs, Leeds, and Brighton. Manchester City ahead on goal difference. That takes you to 6. Newcastle and Fulham are 6 and 7. Brentford, 4 points, leads the group starting in 8th. Brentford, Palace, Forest, Southampton with the win, and Chelsea takes us down to 13. Aston Villa, Manchester United, and Bournemouth each have 3 points on the year. Bournemouth, a goal difference of -5. Liverpool, 2 points on the season with their 2 draws. They have given up 5 goals in 3 matches. They're at 2 points in 16th. Everton right now is in 17th, ahead of Wolves and Leicester on goal difference. West Ham does not have a goal scored this season, and they have given up 5. They are right now in 20th position. Looking at your juice boxes next time around, it is Saturday, it is Sunday, and then it is Tuesday for midweek weekend activity. So on the 27th, you've got 7 matches that are lined up for your Saturday, starting off with Southampton, Manchester United. These are early juice boxes, reminder, so these things will change in between now and the assigned kick for all of these clubs. Southampton +329. Your draws a +305. Manchester United is a -1.25. Brentford and Everton. Brentford a home favorite at G-Tech. They're at a +102. Everton's basically a +300. Brighton and Leeds. Brighton at the Amex. They are at a -114. Leeds a +309 on the road. Your draws a +283. Chelsea is a -250 as Leicester comes to town, basically at a +700. Liverpool can try to get their first win on the season going up against Bournemouth. Bournemouth north of +2,300 on the road, heading to Liverpool. Liverpool as a -833. Manchester City hosting Crystal Palace at the Etihad. It is a -556 for Manchester City. Crystal Palace is a +1560. And then your late game at 12:30, Arsenal at the Emirates hosting Fulham. Arsenal's a -303. Fulham is a +823. Your draw is a +461. Sunday, 3 matches. It is Villa-West Ham. Villa's a +127. West Ham is a +223. Your draw is basically a +250. Wolves and Newcastle. Wolves a +168. Newcastle a +177. Heading to the Molineux. Your draw is a +234. And it is Nottingham and Tottenham. So it's Battle of the Ums. So Nottingham and Tottenham. Nottingham is a +600 at home as Tottenham comes to visit as a -213. So we probably have to produce the Prem and Proper a day early next week because of the games that are going on the 30th and the 31st. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week to start things off. And so we will keep an eye on that. But it is a quick turnaround for a lot of folks in the Premier League when it comes to action over the next little bit. But we're closing in on the end of the transfer window. Have another 8 days or so. So it looks like Chelsea's preparing to bid $60 million now for Anthony Gordon. And Manchester United has confirmed the Casemiro signing. They're getting ready for a new Antony offer as the £68 million bid has been rejected. Newcastle still chasing after João Pedro, and it looks like $30 million is on the table. We'll keep an eye and see if that is going to satisfy both Watford and Newcastle when it comes to the coffers. Ismaila Sarr also might be out the door as well as Emmanuel Dennis, who joined Nottingham Forest. The next signing for Nottingham Forest, by the way, they're 17th of the season. Leicester standing firm on Chelsea-linked Wesley Fofana. Chelsea still short of Leicester's £80 million asking price for Wesley Fofana. So we'll keep an eye and see how close we get to 80. We've seen 60. We've seen north of 60. Will they get to 80? Will that be the number, or will it be somewhere in between? We've got a week to find out. Erik ten Hag is basically driving the pursuit of Antony. And so we'll keep an eye on Antony and Ajax after the initial bid has been turned down. We'll see where it goes from there. Eric Bailly has agreed to join Marseille on loan from Manchester United. Loan move with an option to buy becomes an obligation depending on the player's performance and if Marseille reach the Champions League. Expected to have a medical this week. Marseille will cover the player's wages this season. United have had the €80 million offer rejected for Antony, but we'll see if United increases the fee. Will it be $100 million? We'll keep an eye on that. Middlesbrough remain interested in Preston North End forward Emil Rees-Jakobsen, so we'll keep an eye on that one as well. The third Chelsea bid worth 70 was rejected for Fofana. We'll keep an eye on that one. Watford sold last season's Player of the Year Hassan Kamara to their sister club Udinese, who then loaned him back. Interesting to see what the logistics on that are. Chelsea defender Emerson Palmieri passed his medical ahead of his £15 million move to West Ham, $13 million up front and £2 million in add-ons. The Italian is West Ham's 7th signing of the summer. Say that 10 times fast, taking their spending past £120 million in the window. Brighton head coach Graham Potter says Matt Clark's move to Middlesbrough is expected to go ahead soon. Potter views it as a good opportunity to get more regular game time. Hull have completed the loan move of Arsenal teenager Salah Eddin Oulad Mahand until the end of the season. The 19-year-old attacking midfielder on the bench 9 times for the first team last season, starred for their U23s, 5 goals in 16 matches. So he heads to Hull. Going into the papers, as we always do, avoiding the 3-letter and the 4-letter when it comes to all the news, notes, and information. According to the Times, Chelsea are confident of sealing the deal with Anthony Gordon, also working on a deal to bring in AC Milan forward Rafael Leao. Avoiding the 3-letter newspaper, Daily Telegraph has back up the information that we said right there with the early transactions. Avoiding the 4-letter newspaper, The Athletic, Nottingham Forest in talks with Tottenham over a move for out-of-favor left wing-back Sergio Reguilon. Daily Express, Chelsea could be the busiest club in the final days of the window. Significant additions going along with as many as 8 players leaving Stamford Bridge. Ajax is reported to be upset with Erik ten Hag over his continuing pursuit of Antony with only a handful of days left in the summer window. Daily Star, once again, more information on what we've been seeing early on. Daily Record goes outside of the English footprint, as does all the other papers. So that is your quick update as to what's going on with transfers and everything else going on inside the Premier League. It is that time where, before we go every single time that he wishes to drop the Golden Niles and the Rotten Niles, it's time for Contributor Nyle to tell you what he thought about the week in the Prem.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the Golden Niles / Rotten Niles. Today we will be taking a look at the Week 3 of the Premier League, where we look at the stars, the flubs, the failures, and the surprises. So let's get started, shall we? First, let's take a look at the stars. Jack Harrison, who had a goal and an assist and Leeds' 3-0 win over Chelsea. And then, of course, Alan St. Maximin. He created plenty of problems for Man City and Newcastle's 3-3 draw with City. Man City defenders just were not able to cope with him. The attacking player had 2 assists and was a crucial part of everything offensively for Newcastle. He just showed through his performance how much of a game changer he is for the Magpies. Now the flubs. Let's start with Edouard Mendy. The Senegalese international goalkeeper had a tremendous mistake for Chelsea and their 3-0 loss to Leeds that led to U.S. international Brendan Aronson giving Leeds the lead in the 33rd minute. And then somebody who I know won't want to be on this list, Virgil van Dijk. Liverpool's star center back that is usually tough to deal with had one of his worst games in a Liverpool shirt. According to Squawka Football, the Dutch defender did not make a single successful tackle against Manchester United. He was dribbled past once and conceded the foul, and even James Milner was not afraid to voice his displeasure on Van Dijk's poor defending. It's rare that you see a teammate shout at Virgil van Dijk. Now, let's go to the failures. Chelsea. After a frustrating 2-2 draw against Tottenham, the hope for Chelsea would have been that they could have turned things around against Leeds. However, they fell short from doing so as Thomas Tuchel's side were thumped 3-0. Chelsea dominated in possession but ultimately were not effective with it. The Blues had chances to capitalize, but they were wasted defensively. Chelsea couldn't seem to cope with the high-intensity press from Jesse Marsch's side, and Thomas Tuchel can come out with as many excuses as he can with the bus, with not having the bus, and, just the mistakes and whatever. But overall, Leeds were the better side. And then, of course, another team that does not want to be on this list, and has been for the past couple of times with the Golden Niles / Rotten Niles, is Liverpool. After the 2-1 loss at Old Trafford to Manchester United, Liverpool have had their worst start to the Premier League season under Jurgen Klopp with just 2 points out of 3 games. 2 points. The Reds were just second best, and they deserve to lose no matter what Jurgen Klopp says about how the team should have won the game. No, they shouldn't have. Only one team showed up tonight, and that was Manchester United. There was a lack of cohesiveness. Liverpool defensively looked atrocious, and offensively looked worrying. Lots of work for Jurgen Klopp to do to sort out how things can be turned around. I mean, I know it's early, and I know this team is dealing with a lot of senior injuries, but that still doesn't give them the excuse of not being able to turn up against Manchester United with players like Salah and Diaz starting. I mean, just right now, Liverpool don't look like Premier League title contenders. And now let's head to the surprises. Leeds United. Leeds United, a.k.a. America's favorite team in the Premier League right now, is having a great start to the season under Jesse Marsch with 7 points out of 3 games. Jesse Marsch's side showed exactly what they are capable of doing, creating chances out of high pressure and capitalizing on them. From the beginning, Leeds were flowing with energy. Chelsea made mistakes, of course, but credit can't be taken away from Leeds. The first goal from Brendan Aronson, I think, is a highlight of this. Just chasing after Mendy tirelessly for the opening goal showed, the amount of effort Leeds put into this match. And because of this, they deservedly came out as the winners. And I think this showed that Leeds can be threatening when they are at their best. And they can really, potentially make some surprises this season. And of course now, Newcastle United. Newcastle United put on a hell of a show for their fans in an entertaining 3-3 draw against Manchester City. They showed plenty of determination against not just one of the best teams in the Premier League, but one of the best sides in Europe. Many teams would sit back against Man City. Newcastle, however, did not. When R. Miggy scored the tying goal in the 28th minute, Newcastle kept on pressing and eventually would score twice with goals from Callum Wilson and Kieran Trippier. They were almost rewarded for the work they put in with the possible 3 points, but Man City was able to come back and get a point. The Magpies posed some big problems for City with the pace of St. Maximin and others. This is exactly what fans want to see from Newcastle. They should not be afraid to play against the big boys, especially at home. And a result like this really shows how tough it can be to play at St. James's Park. And this is definitely a performance for Eddie Howe's side to build on. And of course, Manchester United. It's not been the easy of starts for United this season, as they have been quite on the bad side of things recently. But against Liverpool, they showed what I think Ten Hag wants to see out of the Red Devils. They showed commitment, they showed passion, they were dominating on all aspects of the game against Liverpool in their 2-1 win. Everything just seemed very cohesive. I mean, they deserved the win today, and no matter how much Jurgen Klopp is going to say, oh, Liverpool should have won. No, Manchester United were the better team, and they just showed that they wanted it more. I thought that offensively, United were very impressive with players such as Rashford and others like Alonga really posing problems for Liverpool's defense. And this is a sort of a performance that United has to build upon. This is an example of what it takes for them to win a match like this against a top team like Liverpool. You have to be committed for the full 90 minutes, and United were, and they showed exactly what they can be at their best. So this is definitely, there's still a long way to go, but this is definitely a positive for United. And with that is the end of the Golden Nyles / Rotten Nyles. Thank you so much, everybody, and I'll see you again soon.
So that's your rundown of everything going on in the Premier League. Once again, action, it is fast and furious on the weekend. Then you turn around, and it's back at you in the midweek, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday next week. So once again, get your fantasy squared away, get your viewing habits squared away. It's going to be a very long and busy Saturday rolling in. But remember, it comes back before we know it in the midweek. So who of us had Arsenal on top in the standings so far after 3 match weeks and have only got a +7 with their goal difference? Ahead of Manchester City, ahead of Spurs, definitely ahead of Liverpool, struggling right now with injuries and only 2 draws in their first 3 match weeks. So that is your quick run of everything Prem and Proper here at SDH. Enjoy your games, enjoy your teams. We'll catch up with you earlier than normal next week.